Hello students, in the previous class we were studying about the reaction of haloarenes and we were studying the electrophilic substitution in haloarenes. Today we will study reaction with metals. As haloalkanes, those haloarenes they also react with metals. So the first reaction which you will study is Wurtz-Fittig reaction. It is Wurtz-Fittig reaction. Now you have studied Wurtz reaction with the haloalkanes. So what was Wurtz reaction? That when haloalkanes react with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, higher alkanes are formed and the number of carbon atom become double. Here also the same reaction is there, that is haloarene is going to react with sodium metal, but here we will take one molecule of haloarene. Say I have taken here chlorobenzene. We will react it with sodium metal. 2 atoms of sodium we have to take, and we will react it with another molecule of haloalkane. Means one you have to take haloarene, the other you have to take is haloalkane. So when they react with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, then this sodium chloride is removed and we will get here alkyl arene. The alkyl group is attached to the benzene ring plus 2NaCl. So this reaction is known as Wurtz-Fittig reaction. Reaction in which one molecule of haloarene reacts with another molecule of haloalkane and sodium metal in the presence of dry ether to form alkyl arene. Here you can take any haloalkane and here any haloarene, right? So you will get here alkyl arene. So such reaction is known as Wurtz-Fittig reaction. The name of this compound is toluene. It's a type of toluene. It's a type of alkyl arene. Understood? So that is your Wurtz reaction. Now the another reaction with metal is Fittig reaction. It is Fittig reaction. Now what is Fittig reaction? Now in Wurtz-Fittig reaction you have taken one haloalkane and one haloarene and you have reacted it with sodium metal. Here you will take both haloarenes. Reacted with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether. So sodium chloride is removed and we will get here diphenyl or biphenyl. Those arenes are attached to each other. 2 benzene rings will get attached to each other. Such a reaction is known as Fittig reaction. We get biphenyl, or it is also known as diphenyl. So this reaction is known as Fittig reaction. When 2 molecules of haloarene react with sodium metal in the presence of dry ether, biphenyl is formed and the reaction is known as Fittig reaction. Got it? Now next we will study reaction with magnesium metal. Now students, when you have studied reaction with magnesium metal in haloalkanes, so what compound is formed? We get Grignard reagent. So similarly, here also when you react the haloarene, say bromobenzene or iodobenzene with magnesium metal in the presence of dry ether, aryl magnesium halide here you are taking bromide, so this is phenyl magnesium bromide, or any other aryl group may also be there. So that aryl magnesium halide will be formed, right, which is known as Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent. Whichever you will take their aryl group, that aryl group will come here, and whichever halogen you will take, that halogen will come here, right. So aryl magnesium halide or alkyl magnesium halide is known as Grignard reagent. So that is formed here when haloarine reacts with magnesium metal in the presence of dry ether. We get Grignard reagent. Now here, if bromo and iodo group is there, they are better leaving group due to their large size. Hence this reaction is carried out easily in the presence of dry ether. But instead of bromo or iodo group, if we have chloro group, then instead of dry ether we will take here THF. We will take here THF. What is THF? It is tetrahydrofuran. So the reaction will take place in the presence of tetrahydrofuran. Now next reaction with metal is, we will study the reaction with copper metal, and this reaction with copper metal, it is known as Ullmann reaction. It is known as Ullmann reaction. So in Ullmann's reaction, here iodobenzene react with copper powder. 2 molecules we will take. So Cu2I2 will be removed here, and again biphenyl will be formed. So you will get here biphenyl, and the reaction is known as Ullmann reaction. So these are reaction with metals: Wurtz-Fittig reaction, Fittig reaction, reaction with magnesium metal, and reaction with copper metal, that is Ullmann's reaction. Now what is the difference between Wurtz reaction, Wurtz-Fittig reaction and Fittig reaction? In Wurtz reaction we take 2 molecules of haloalkane. In Wurtz-Fittig 1 haloalkane and 1 haloarine. Whereas in Fittig we take 2 molecules of haloarine. That is the difference, right? Although they all are same, and we are getting higher alkanes in the presence of sodium metal. Now next students, we will study some polyhalogen compounds which are in your syllabus. So uses and harmful effects are there. So just I will give you one information about this. Otherwise I have done the notes here, and it is downloaded in the PDF. You can read them and learn them. So let us start with polyhalogen compounds. What are polyhalogen compounds? Polyhalogen compounds means, if your compound, say here we have dichloromethane. So if your compound or organic compound contain more than one halogen, then it is known as polyhalogen compound, right? So the first compound which you have to study is this dichloromethane only. It is also known as this dichloromethane. It is also known as methylene chloride. Methylene chloride, right? This is common name. This is its IUPAC name, CH2Cl2. Now what are the uses of this methylene chloride? It is used as a solvent, right? And it is used as a solvent for paint removing of the paint, and also in the manufacture of many medicines, that is drugs, for cleaning the metals and finishing. And also it is used as a propellant in aerosols. So what are its harmful effects? See, this methylene chloride, when it is taken in excess, or when we are exposed to it, then it affects our central nervous system, and it affects both our hearing and vision. We have impaired hearing and vision if prolonged we have exposed to methylene chloride. Then it also causes dizziness. Dizziness means always we will feel sleepy, and we will feel nausea, vomiting like sensation will be there. There will be tingling and numbness in our fingers and toes, right? And sometimes some people will develop red rashes on the skin. It will cause irritation on the skin, and it has a very severe effect on our eyes. It burns our cornea, and due to which it may cause blindness also. So there are many harmful effects, due to which we should handle these chemical very carefully, right? And the next polyhalogen compound in your syllabus is the chloroform. Now what is chloroform? Chemically it is trichloromethane. What is it? It is trichloromethane, that is commonly known as chloroform, CHCl3. So where you have heard the name of this chloroform? Yes, you have heard this in the name of anesthetic, right? Now first we will study the uses of chloroform. As methylene chloride, it is also used as a solvent, and it dissolves oil, fats and waxes very readily, right? So many organic compounds can be dissolved in it, and in industrial use it is used as a solvent. And it is also used for preparing some chlorofluorocarbon, which are known as freons, especially R22 freon. It is made up of this chloroform only. Then instead of formalin also we can use this chloroform to preserve the specimen, right? Though the best preservant is formalin only, but instead of formalin, if suppose formalin is made from formaldehyde, so suppose if it is not available, then chloroform can also be used for the preserving of a specimen. Now what are its harmful effects? You know that this chloroform, it was used as an anesthetic, right? But nowadays it is not used. Why it is not used? Because this chloroform, it has a very important reaction, say when it reacts with oxygen, right, that is present in air and light, then it forms phosgene. This COCl2, carbonyl chloride, is known as phosgene, and this phosgene, it is highly poisonous in nature, right? So due to this, it should be always stored in a colored bottle, dark color bottle, and it should be filled up to brim. No air should be present in it, right? So that is how it should be preserved. Suppose if it is oxidized to phosgene, then it can cause very too much of harm to our central nervous system, right? And chloroform itself, if suppose it is inhaled for a very long period of time, right, so it will be very toxic. It damages our central nervous system, it damages our liver, it damages our kidney, and sometimes people develop sores on the skin. It will he will feel dizziness, he will feel headache, and therefore it has been replaced by the better anesthetic such as diethyl ether or ether or chloropan, right? Now the next one is, that is the third one, it is iodoform. Just like chloroform, we have iodoform also. This iodoform, it is triiodomethane. It is known as iodoform. Common name is iodoform, though its IUPAC name is triiodomethane. Now this iodoform, it is yellow crystalline solid, and it has very unpleasant smell, right? It is used as an antiseptic because when it come in contact with the human tissues, then it releases iodine. Due to the release of iodine, it is used as an antiseptic, but due to its unpleasant smell, its use is now not widely accepted, and it has been replaced by other antiseptics, right? Now next one is tetrachloromethane. The fourth one is tetrachloromethane, or tetrachloromethane is also known as carbon tetrachloride. tetrachloromethane or carbon tetrachloride. That is its common name. So what is this carbon tetrachloride used as? So it is also used as a solvent, just like chloroform, for oil, fats, resins, etc. It is also used in home and industry as a cleansing agent, since it dissolves grease and oily material. So it can easily clean the surface, hence it is used as a cleansing agent, right? And it has very important use in the manufacture of refrigerant and propellants in aerosol. But this carbon tetrachloride also has many harmful effects, such as if we have prolonged exposure to this carbon tetrachloride, it causes liver cancer in human being. It again causes dizziness, nausea, vomiting like sensation, and permanent damage to our nerve cell, that is central nervous system, just like that of chloroform. Then in severe cases, what happens that since it damages our nerve cell, it can also lead to coma, unconsciousness or death, right? And it irregularly it affects our heartbeat. Sometimes it may stop our heartbeat if too much of exposure is there. So we have to be very careful while handling this carbon tetrachloride also. Then when it is released in atmosphere, it goes to stratosphere, and there it initiates the chain reaction, radical chain reaction, and it releases the chlorine free radical and causes the ozone layer depletion. And now you know that when ozone layer is depleted, it may further cause skin cancer, it may further cause cataract in eyes and other eye disorders. So it's very harmful as compared to that of chloroform. Chloroform is also harmful, but carbon tetrachloride is also very, very harmful, yet it is used as a solvent in the industry. Then the next one come to freons. Now what are freons? So chlorofluorocarbons are known as freons, such as dichloro, such as CCl2F2. So this is dichloro-difluoromethane, and this is known as freon 12. Common name of this is freon 12. IUPAC name is dichloro-difluoromethane, and commonly it is known as freon 12, and it is prepared from carbon tetrachloride by replacing the chlorine by fluorine by the Schwarz reaction. Understood? Now these freons, they are very stable, they are unreactive, they are non-toxic, they are non-corrosive when they are present here in the atmosphere. But and they are used as a aerosol propellant. For mainly they are used for refrigeration and for air conditioning. But what is their harmful effect? Once they move to the ozone layer, the stratosphere, they causes the ozone layer depletion. Thus they are very harmful for us, right? Now the last one is your DDT. Have you heard of DDT? So what is DDT? DDT is short form actually. DDT is para. It is para dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, right? Para dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. I will draw the structure. Ethane means 2 carbons, so 2 carbons we have drawn. To 1 carbon this 3 chloro group is attached, so trichloro is there. Now to this carbon we have 2 phenyl groups with chloro group at their para position. Therefore it is known as para dichloro diphenyl, because 2 phenyl ring, then trichloroethane. Para dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. Now this DDT, it is used as an insecticide, but nowadays it is banned. Why it is banned? Because it has the property of accumulating. Means what happens that it will not be rapidly broken down in our body. It will dissolve in, it has the property of dissolving in the fat and oil. So it will not metabolize, it will dissolve in the fat, hence it will be deposited in the fatty tissues of the animal, and it will cause bioaccumulation. It will pass on from animal to animal and causes bioaccumulation. Hence it is not used nowadays as an insecticide. It is further replaced by other insecticides. So this is how, students, your first chapter which we have dealt with, that is haloalkanes and haloarenes, is finished. Try to do the NCERT exercise. Right, till then, goodbye. From tomorrow we will start next chapter, alcohol, phenol and ethers.